Hello, this is Dr. Stanley Lang, and welcome to this presentation. This is a continuation on the series that we've been doing on whole person health and focusing on how to integrate health of body, mind, and spirit. And I have a question for you. What's the most important vitamin for your emotional health? And the answer is, we don't know. It's a trick question. But the most easily measured vitamin that is connected to emotional health is vitamin D. And one of the things that we've been discovering in the last few years is how profoundly vitamin D levels affect emotional health. And I've been measuring vitamin D levels in my patients for several years now. And one of the amazing things is how many people with depression and anxiety have very low levels of vitamin D, and how much better they feel when they get their vitamin D levels up towards normal or even into the mid-normal range. So the take-home message today is that there are a lot of different nutrients that affect emotional health, and vitamin D is one that's a simple one to measure. And so I encourage you to get your D level measured if you can, but also just understand that the average person can take 5,000 units of vitamin D a day and not get toxic. In fact, the average woman who wants to be in the high normal range needs to take 7,000 units a day, which is about 7 times higher than current guidelines. So you can tell that the current guidelines are a little bit low. In fact, almost everybody that I measure blood levels of vitamin D who is taking the current guidelines of D have below normal levels. So taking more is probably a good idea. Now, if you don't have access to ever getting your blood checked, then it would probably be safer to start at 2,000 units a day, because a small percentage of people, maybe 1% in my experience, will become higher than normal at 5,000 units a day. Now, there are actually some home vitamin D level kits that you can purchase so that you don't have to go to your doctor's office to get a vitamin D level checked. And my recommendation is, if you start the 5,000 units a day, that you do that for 3 months and then get a level checked. That's about when things kind of equalize out, and it pretty much represents whether you're absorbing enough vitamin D or not. Some people take very large amounts of vitamin D and still are low because their body doesn't absorb it very well. And the reason for that is that we are designed to make our vitamin D through the skin, not take vitamin D through the gut. But getting vitamin D levels up to normal through oral supplementation is a whole lot better than being deficient. Now, I'm not going to get into at this time the advisability of making your vitamin D through the skin and how to do that. That'll be for a different video. But I want to emphasize that this is a good example again of how overlapped we are in terms of body, mind, and spirit. And we haven't really talked about spiritual health on this hangout, but spiritual health, again, is the foundation of all true whole person health. And my spiritual perspective is through a Christian worldview. That's the only worldview that I know, so it's the only one I can really speak about. But building on that foundation is physical and emotional health. And physical health, obviously, vitamin D is a physical substance, affects emotional health in a lot of different ways. And in this way, we're talking about how vitamin D levels affect depression and anxiety levels. So it is fascinating how overlapped the body is between its physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects. And I encourage you to take full advantage of all three of these areas of your person to achieve the levels of health that I know that God wants for us to have, because He's designed us that way. So I encourage you to take action with vitamin D today if you haven't already, and be alert to your friends and family who may be dragging around and could be vitamin D deficient. And I encourage you to also sign up to this podcast if you are not already a member. So I wish you well, God bless, and have a great day.